There have been some truly fantastic gems in the gaming landscape that were based off of movies, pop culture franchises, TV shows, and more. Contrary to the old adage that these types of games are always bad, some of these stood above the rest and claimed their rightful place as gaming gems. So let's talk about it. What's going on, Geek and Game? Jeremy Bandicoot here, back with another video, and today we're going to be going over 10 games that were based on pop culture that were truly amazing and definitely worth playing. So without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 10, we've got Toy Story 2. Now, Toy Story 2 was a game that was better than it really had any right to be. It was your classic movie tie-in game, trying to advertise and market the source material in which it was derived, but it did so in such a fun and immersive way that it really didn't feel like a cheap cash grab at all. The environments were as immersive as they could be for the PS1 era, and for what it was, at the time, the game was absolutely beautiful. The game made full use of the system that it had, and it created a completely new Toy Story experience that you wouldn't get just from watching the movie. Hell, this game barely even follows the story of the movie, introducing new characters and bosses that don't even make an appearance in the latter to make the game more interesting. The platforming, fighting, and action in this game are all top-notch, and it makes for a very pleasant surprise when you pop this game in for the first time. Number 9, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. So this one seems to be on everyone's radar as of late due to the confirmation of a remaster down the pipe, but not a lot of people seem to remember this game for a while, myself included. In reality though, this one is arguably the greatest SpongeBob SquarePants video game to ever hit the shelves, as it shows that this one was really never intended to be a cash grab on the property. The developers of this game wanted to expand on the SpongeBob franchise, not milk it to death, and you can just tell by how much effort was put into this game. The game feels a lot like a mix of Banjo-Kazooie, Ratchet & Clank, and Spyro the Dragon, with its immersive environments, different gadgets, and different playable characters that all bring a unique spin to the gameplay. It's an incredibly fun time, as it provides immersive platforming, incredibly funny storytelling, and a look into Bikini Bottom, the likes of which we'd never really seen up to that point. I'm really glad that this one is getting the remaster treatment, as it will definitely be another hit just like its little brother. Number 8, LEGO Star Wars. Now who could forget this one? Two of the biggest icons of your childhood, all wrapped up into one little pig in a blanket for you to enjoy. Seriously though, it was incredibly fun to see the Star Wars universe reimagined in the LEGO style, and it was because of this different style that the developers were able to do so much more with the game in terms of storytelling, gameplay, and interaction. Plus, chopping up enemies to bits and watching them crumble into little LEGO pieces is extremely satisfying, not gonna lie. I actually remember me and one of my buddies in my childhood just going around the hub world in the original LEGO Star Wars, just chopping people up, throwing them off the roof with the Force. It's literally a childhood sandbox dream, and I loved it. Truly a wonderful and more simple time, and truly more ammo for the people who claim video games cause violence. Yeah, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have shared that story. Number 7, Captain America Super Soldier. So this one seems like it's really been lost in the annals of time, because I really don't see anyone talking about this game anymore. Maybe it's because it came out before the height of the MCU, but it really seems like one of these games that were just forgotten. It's a damn shame too, because this was an incredibly faithful and awesome adaptation of the MCU version of Captain America. It even saw every MCU actor from the Captain America films reprise their roles in the game, which was truly awesome to see, and to my knowledge, this is the only game based off of the MCU that has done that, which is, real unique and, I don't know, real cool. I'm not only putting this on this list because it was forgotten about and it was faithful to the MCU and no. This game was a treat to play, regardless of any of that. The combat was incredibly unique and not your cookie-cutter action beat-em-up. The incorporation of Cap's shield as well as the entire combat system stood out to me as incredibly fluid and the perfect encapsulation of being in the shoes of Captain America. And when you do something like that, it definitely can't go unnoticed. Despite its hidden gem status, I'd really like to see this game talked about more. Number 6, Deadpool. You can't have this kind of list without mentioning Deadpool the video game. This game came out before the mainstream popularity of Deadpool took hold, and the developers used what they had in terms of lore for the Merc with a Mouth. They didn't focus on the backstory like every other developer of these games seemed to do, but they relied on what Deadpool brought to the table. Fourth wall breaks, doing whatever he wants, self-awareness, lust, and wisecracking are all the centerfolds of this game, and it's absolutely brilliant. The comedy, fighting style, story, environments, banter, all of it, top notch. And I give credit to this game for helping me fall in love with Deadpool in the first place. Seriously, this game was probably the biggest influence for my Deadpool tattoo, so thank you Deadpool the video game for my shoulder tat. Number 5, Kingdom Hearts. So this one might sound a little controversial, but stay with me. While Kingdom Hearts as a whole isn't based on any sort of geek culture, the series brings in nearly every world that Disney has ever made into one entity. Having done all of that, I definitely believe that it deserves a spot on this list, as it brings beloved characters from so many beloved franchises and it executes them incredibly well. With an original story to go with all this and the ability to see these characters in incredibly different situations than what we're used to, which gives us opportunity to see how these characters would react in such situations, it's incredibly brilliant, and I love that something like Kingdom Hearts exists in our lives because of it. I'm not going to run down why these games are so good, because at this point, if you haven't played them, what are you even doing with your life? Number 4, Dragon Ball FighterZ. I almost put Budokai 3 on here. I almost did that. For you Dragon Ball fans, you know exactly why. But FighterZ did something that no other Dragon Ball game to date has. It developed a dedicated competitive fan base that were able to study the game in and out in efforts to become the best in the world at that game. If that doesn't speak volumes about the game's quality, I'm not sure what does, because you can't waste your life studying one game if it isn't good, you know what I mean? A more gameplay-focused outing for Dragon Ball, it encompassed every character's fight style to a T, and gave us the perfect catharsis for being able to just beat the hell out of Frieza for coming back to life so many times in the anime. For that, I've got to put it on here. I'm not even going to cut that part out. It's a funny joke. It's a funny misstep. You know what I mean? Let's move on. Number 3, the Batman Arkham series. So I'm putting the entire series on here because I can't choose just one of those games. The Batman Arkham series was the absolute perfect way to showcase Batman and his villains, along with what each of them are exactly capable of. It was a trip down into Batman's shoes, cowl, and Batmobile, and made you feel like you were a badass crime stopper defending Gotham City from the worst threats imaginable. This deep dive into Batman's lore is extremely immersive and is renowned to this day as the best superhero series that was ever created, and with very good reason. The fighting and action sequences are fluid, the inclusion of detective work and deduction is refreshing, and the focus on stealth to get missions done alternatively is a great touch to the lesser-known sleuthing aspect of Batman's character. Perfect encapsulation. That's all I can use to describe this series. It's just absolute greatness. Number 2, Marvel's Spider-Man. Although this game has received a bit of criticism comparing it to the Batman Arkham series, Marvel's Spider-Man is another perfect encapsulation of the character, world, lore, and interactions of the city of New York in the world of Marvel. With precise and fluid web swinging, different spider gadgets, awesome fight scenes, and so much more to this game, it presents itself as the ultimate way to live vicariously through Spider-Man, and it truly is an amazing experience. I can't speak enough about how good and refreshing this game is, and I'm truly grateful that we live in a time where we can literally be both Spider-Man and Batman. These games are just both so amazing. I can't gush over it anymore. I just can't. Just they're the gift from the video game gods. I'm done. Moving on. And number 1, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Nope, it's GoldenEye 007. Had you going there for a second, didn't I? Seriously though, did you really think I'd put E.T. up here? Nah, GoldenEye gets it, of course. Being such a hit on the N64, it really was the first game that I could think of that tied in its source material from a film so well. Not only did it nail the source material, but it provided immersive gameplay and exciting missions for you to enjoy. To this day, there is still a strong speedrunning community built around this game, and it's not hard to see why. To this day, it is still incredibly enjoyable, and while it is noticeably dated, that doesn't hold it back. In my eyes, that is the true mark of a masterpiece of a game. If it can stand the test of time, even when the development for the game is ancient, it makes it clear that the quality shines through and is able to still encapsulate gamers decades after its release. And that's my list of the 10 best games based on geek culture. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw here, there's definitely more where that came from over on my YouTube channel, Jeremy Bandicoot. Head on over there and subscribe if you want to see more. Special thanks to Geek and Game for putting this up on their channel, and a special thanks to you for watching. Yes, you, right there, in front of the monitor. Thank you very much for subscribing, liking, and sharing. Until next time, guys, I will see you later.